China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.
Welcome to my box score breakdown of the Buffalo Bills versus the New Orleans Saints. The Buffalo Bills go to 4-0 on the season, while the New Orleans Saints drop to 0-4. So we'll start off with New Orleans passing here. They went 18 for 27, Spencer Rattler that is, 126 yards, 1 touchdown, and 3 sacks for 17 yards. And Chris Olave came in and they did a trick play and he threw 1 pass and it was intercepted by Cole Bishop, actually. I actually thought Spencer Rattler played pretty good, pretty efficient from what it looks like, especially with the box score here. You know, pretty decent numbers, not a lot of yards or anything, but didn't make any huge mistakes. I actually think he's pretty good quarterback, and they just need to work around him, get a better offensive line. They already have some good weapons, and Alvin Kamara and Chris Olave as a wide receiver, also Rashid Shaheed as a deep threat. Didn't see a whole lot from Shaheed at all, but Kamara played pretty good, so did Olave. So I thought they actually looked pretty good. Buffalo's passing. Josh Allen went 16 for 22, really efficient, 209 yards, 2 touchdowns, 1 interception, and 3 sacks. This is like the most sacks Josh Allen has taken in a really long time, at least a whole season, since he's taken that many sacks. He also threw an interception. It was on a 3rd down, 3rd and long, so, you know, they would have punted the next play anyway, and he threw it deep, so it wasn't a big deal for an interception, but that was his first of the year. So really good game for Josh Allen. I thought just really efficient. Overall, their offensive line didn't look as good as I wanted them to, but that's okay. New Orleans Saints rushing. We had Alvin Kamara led the way with 15 carries for 70 yards. So good game for him. Kendre Miller went 11 for 65 and a touchdown. So they have a pretty good, 1-2 punch there with their running backs there. And Spencer Rattler as well had 6 rushes for 49 yards. On the Bills side, James Cook, man, he's just taking over the running back position there for Buffalo. We thought, James Cook, Ray Davis, Ty Johnson would, James Cook would maybe get 60% of the carries, and then the other 2 would get, 40%. But James Cook, man, he's taken like 80% of the carries, it looks like. So he went 22 for 117 and a touchdown. Another great game for him. Josh Allen, actually pretty good game running the ball as well. He ran it 7 times. That surprises me. I didn't think it was that many. But he did have that one really long run. It was 27 yards. And then he had a short sneak, or not really a sneak, a scramble out, and then ran it in for a touchdown. So good game for them. I'm hoping Ray Davis gets some more touches as the season goes on. Same with Ty Johnson, but Ray Davis especially, coming off a pretty good rookie year, has kind of a slow start so far this year, but that's okay. I think they'll get it to him a little bit more as the season goes on. New Orleans receiving numbers. We had Rashid Shaheed. Wow, okay, he had the most yardage for them. He had 4 catches for 47 yards. I thought, Olave was up there, but okay. On 5 targets, so decent game for him. Juwan Johnson had 3 for 28 on 3 targets. Brandon Cooks, 3 for 4. I didn't even know they had Brandon Cooks, honestly. And then Chris Olave, who I think is really good. He had 3 for 20 yards and a touchdown. He did have some drops, though. It was on 6 targets, so not his best game, honestly, but he did have that touchdown. Jack Stoll, I think he's a tight end, and then Alvin Kamara, 4 catches for only 2 yards. So not bad, not great, though, receiving-wise for them. Buffalo Bills, Khalil Shakir had 5 catches for 69 yards and 1 touchdown on 5 targets, and man, that touchdown was incredible. I was eating chili at this time early in the game, and I went in. I saw Khalil Shakir catch the ball, and then I thought he went down, so I took a bite of my chili, and I look back up, and he's in the end zone, and I'm like, whoa, how did that happen? So that was kind of funny how that happened. So he ended up with, and that was a 43-yard touchdown, so 5 catches, 69, pretty good. Keon Coleman, mostly pretty early in the game, 3 catches for 45 yards. I don't think he had much or anything in the second half. Dalton Kincaid had a nice wide open touchdown down the seam, one reception for 28 yards, touchdown. Josh Palmer, 2 for 25. That was also very early in the game. And then James Cook, a couple catches as well. Jackson Hawes, one nice catch. Even Curtis Samuel got in on this game, so he had one catch. Yeah, so pretty good game for the Bills. Not like the best, but they spread it around like they usually do. Everybody eats, all that stuff. Spencer Rattler fumbled once, but they were able to recover it, and the Bills didn't fumble at all. We'll look at the defense here. New Orleans defense. Oh, this is a fun name. Kool-Aid McKinstry. I thought that was his nickname. That's his real name? Okay, he had 7 tackles. I don't know if I think he's a linebacker. I'm not sure. You guys can let me know in the comments if you know what he is. But Demario Davis, also 7 tackles. Carl Granderson, this guy, he looks really good. Pass rusher. They have 2 really good pass rushers. Cameron Jordan, he's getting pretty old. I don't know Carl Granderson, but apparently he went to Wyoming. They said that on the broadcast, that he was a teammate of Josh Allen, so interesting there. He had 1 sack. Cameron Jordan also had a sack. Bunch of tackles for loss for these guys. Okay, Brian Breesy had the other sack, so that's all 3 of them there. So pretty good game for New Orleans. Honestly, if I was a fan of New Orleans, I'd be like, oh, I would take that game. Even though you lost by 12. You still covered the spread, but I think it was a 14.5, 15-point spread, something like that. But they have things to work on, but they don't look like a horrible team. I don't think they're going to end up being the worst team in the league, just by what I saw. Buffalo's defense, wow, Tre'Davious White, 7 tackles. That's usually not a good sign for a cornerback getting that many tackles, but they have been, blitzing him a lot, so that could be part of it, is him just stopping the run game, stuff like that. So Terrell Bernard, also a great game for him. Dorian Williams, Cole Bishop had a nice interception we'll talk about later. Taron Johnson, Christian Benford, okay. AJ Epineza had a sack, so good game for him. Deion Walker, man, he's our rookie. He's looking like the best rookie on the team. He had 2 tackles for loss, and he's a force up there. You notice him. He's a huge guy, good run stuffer, looks like, and he even gets some good penetration into the backfield. So awesome game for him. Joey Bosa had a tackle for loss as well. There was a couple plays where they ran it right around Joey Bosa, and he looked kind of mad that he let that happen, but oh well. Jordan Phillips even got in on this game as well. Keon Coleman, a tackle probably just from special teams, so it's good to see him playing special teams. Actually, you know what? That was probably that interception Josh Allen threw. I think Keon Coleman got the tackle there. And even Jordan Hancock got in on this game. I think he was a 6th-round pick, 5th or 6th round, 5th, I think. TJ Sanders, 2nd-round pick. I'm looking for him to do a little bit better, but it is what it is. New Orleans, like I said, they got an interception on Josh Allen. Jonas Sanker, he actually had a good game. He had a couple breakups as well. Cole Bishop also had a really, really impressive interception on that Philly special play by the Saints. Actually, I just thought of this. Their head coach, Kellen Moore, I think is his name. He was the offensive coordinator for Philadelphia, so he probably got that play from them, the Philly special play there that didn't work, that Cole Bishop sniffed out and got an interception on. Kick returns, this Velus Jones guy did pretty good. Curtis Samuel was in there for kickoffs, which is surprising. They didn't play Codrington. I want to say only because Codrington has looked good as a returner, but he really doesn't have a purpose other than returning. So they're like, okay, Curtis Samuel can return, and then he can also play wide receiver, so let's get him in there. I kind of like that idea, but again, I think the Bills were doing a lot of things differently this game because they knew they could beat the Saints, so they were testing out some things, in my opinion. But yeah, New Orleans kicking, Blake Grupe, perfect 2-for-2 field goals, 1-for-1 extra point. Same with Matt Prater, 1-for-1 field goal and 4-for-4 extra point. So good game for the kickers. Punting, Cameron Johnson came down with a injury. Hopefully he's okay. It looked like he had a hyperextension, may be more serious than that, but we'll see. Let's go through the team stats as well up here. I always like going through this. This usually tells the story of the game. First downs, actually, New Orleans had more first downs. Passing first downs, Bills beat them, but man, New Orleans just ran really well. So 14 first downs on running. Penalty, yeah, okay, we'll talk about penalties. Third down efficiency, 5 for 13. It's a little under 50%, 3 for 10. Oof, for the Bills. Man, they got to work on that. And then they're both 0 for 2 and 0 for 1 on fourth down, so not good there. Total plays, wow, okay, so Saints had more plays than the Bills. Bills had more total yards, total drives. Bills had one more drive. Yards per play, Bills won that one. Passing yards, Bills won that. Yards per pass, Bills interceptions was even. They both threw one. They both got 3 sacks, so that's about even. Rushing, okay, Saints had the upper hand in that. So, yeah, 5.6 yard per rush and 5.2. That's both very high. Usually it's, 4 or less for teams. But, yeah, both teams were able to run on each other. Red zone attempts, 2 for 4. The Saints and Bills were 2 for 3, so Bills won that. Penalties, wow, okay. This is what kept the Saints in the game, in my opinion, was penalties. So Saints had only 4 for 41 yards, and Bills had 11 for 55, which I think before this game they were averaging like less than 5 penalties a game. So they more than doubled that. They got to work on that. Turnovers were even. That usually tells a story, but since they're even, it's a wash. Interceptions, time of possession. Wow, actually, I'm surprised. I thought New Orleans would have had more time of possession because they ran the ball better, but it looks like the Bills had a couple more minutes of time of possession. So there's the game there. I thought it was a fun game. I was a little nervous, but not too worried. Bills still ended up winning by 12, more than one score. So there we go. But it was a fun game in Buffalo. 1 o'clock game is always a fun time. So, yeah, let me know what you guys think down in the comments. Leave a like, subscribe, and go Bills.
Chickadee China, the Chinese chicken. You have a drumstick and your brain stops sticking.